Hello, and so today we're looking at some Venom slides from the Insomniac leak. Now, first here we have their projection going forward. See, Insomniac and Sony plan to leverage the Marvel IP in order to generate more sales, and this is what they are projecting going forward. Whether or not they will reach these milestones is unknown, but this internally is what they are thinking they will have to spend, which are these blue lines right here, versus how much they're going to make, which are these lines right here. Now I had that backwards. Okay, no, the blue lines are what they're going to make compared to these lines here are what they're going to have to spend. I don't know how I screwed that up. My bad, guys, my bad. I've been going through a lot of information on deciding what videos to make in which order, and a bit mentally frazzled right now, so you'll have to excuse that little slip up. And Venom is basically going to be like Miles Morales. It's going to be a spin-off that they're going to have a lower production cost to make more money. Now we go to these other screens here. We have their projections versus the Miles Morales reality, where the game released. And WSP basically sends their wholesale price. So if, say, like I'm GameStop, that's how much I would be paying for this game. And then I would retail it to you for the $50. Now, there's not a lot here that's really fascinating. The game sold 14.4 million units. Total net sales of $554 million. Made $302.4 million in the first 12 months for Miles Morales. And for some reason, they're projecting this game will do less than Miles Morales, which doesn't make a lot of sense because Miles Morales is not a very popular character. Venom is. So, if anything, this should be a higher number than that. But for some reason, they're projecting that Venom will perform less than Miles Morales, which could say something about their internal thought processes and them being flat out delusional while continuously trying to push Miles Morales as the main character in Spider-Man. But let's continue. Here we have the price, their expenses, the licensing fee. So they have a lower licensing fee for Venom, and they're projecting a lower profit share. That might be because Sony Pictures has a stronger hold on the Venom IP compared to Miles Morales, or it might be because Sony and Disney have negotiated a sweetheart deal, so they'll just have to pay less in exchange for allowing Spider-Man to appear in more Marvel movies, which is I don't know if it's a definitive thing or if it's just a rumor, but I've heard that is something that is going on, that they have reached a deal to allow more Marvel characters to appear in Spider-Man, and Spider-Man and his characters will appear more often in the Marvel universe. The projection is to spend $25 million on advertisement. Development cost to launch will be $120. Development cost post-launch, $0. So why $0? Because other than patching, they're not going to add any DLC to this. So there's not going to be this huge amount of money being spent. Although, in my opinion, it's disingenuous to say $0 because you are going to have a small team of people on this game patching it. Because I doubt it's going to release perfectly because at this point in time, no game really does. They're projecting they'll make a total profit of $114 million. Again, I'm thinking that's a bit undersold because, again, Venom is a very popular character. So either they're thinking their way of going about Venom is not going to be very good, or they're really underselling how popular Venom is compared to Miles Morales. ROS means how much money you're making per sale. So they're projecting 32% per sale, and I'm estimating that is probably retail. Because digitally, as I said in my last video, you keep all the revenue. So if this is $50, you get the whole 50. ROI is how much money you're going to make versus how much money you spent. They're projecting a 79% return on investment. Now, again, for anyone who ever watches my videos and doubts when I say how many units they have to sell to break even at full price, here is them flat out telling you that Miles Morales needs to sell 3.7 million units to break even on average price, 5.3 million units on average price, and 4.1 million units on average price. Now, keep in mind, these games had a vastly lower production value compared to other games in the franchise, which have a production value upward of 300 million plus. And, jargon down here. So let's move on to the next slide. Now, here's where I begin to think that maybe the direction they're planning to go is really bad. Because they're planning to leverage the iconic Marvel IP. The Marvel IP is dead. They didn't have one profitable movie outside Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and that was James Gunn. And James Gunn's at DC now. So they have no path forward to have this be an iconic brand. It's dying. Spider-Man is more iconic than the Marvel IP. So the fact that they're planning to leverage the Marvel IP going forward is, in my opinion, just really, really stupid and shows a huge disconnect between them and management and what is going on in the general audience. You can't say, oh, hey, we're going to leverage this IP because it will help us sell units when the main entries in these franchises are losing money. That's not really how business and economics work. So let's see. Franchise growth. Drive previous title adoption through PC SKUs. Basically, you're going to sell the, PC games. So as you get the PC players in there, you'll have more people in your ecosystem, and that will make more sales. PlayStation Plus promos, i.e., games on sale, game is put into the lineup, yada yada. And more increased sequel conversion. So basically, they want you to buy every game in the series, which means they have to make it beloved. When they hire a company like Sweet Baby to flip you the bird and make Spider-Man 2 woke, you ain't getting sequel conversion. So there is a disconnect between intent and execution going on there. Own the IP, leverage key partnerships between Marvel, Disney, and Sony Pictures for a broader Spider-Man IP promotions. Basically, they're going to want to use the other characters or however to promote this thing. Self-explanatory. Live service, everyone's favorite thing. Basically, rip you off, make you pay more money. Development cost summary, 220. Yeah, we've already gone over that a bit. Unit price range. They're projecting to sell 7 million copies in the first 12 months, 10 million copies within 3 years. And that's basically the end of the information. Now, I don't know how successful this is going to be. And I say that because the Marvel brand is dead. At this point in time, it is dead. It just doesn't realize it's dead yet. But Spider-Man does have potential, but there's no connection between the Spider-Man movies, which are wildly popular, and the Spider-Man game. In fact, they have gone in a completely different direction with the Spider-Man game universe, to the point that by Spider-Man 3, they're probably going to realize if revenue declines sharply based on superhero fatigue, based on brand degradation through intersectionality, ESG, and DEI, based on poor story creation and working with companies that quite literally exist to make your products woke, they're not going to have the success going forward, and they're going to have to reboot this. And the reality is Sony is $30 billion in debt. They can't afford to have flop after flop after flop. Not that I think any of these games are inherently going to flop. The question remains, are they going to make as much money as they internally project them going to make? Because everything else is budgeted off that. If they start not breaking even, that's going to be a whole panic over at Sony. But at the same time, I don't believe we can rule out a great change in plans because Sony is now putting a new CEO in charge of PlayStation as ESG and DEI initiatives at financial investment funds are being shut down. So this stuff here that they've been doing that's been damaging their brand might not be present going forward, but equally they might double down on it, ending their brand's powerhouse. While Xbox hopefully does not. They appear to be more politically neutral. And when they do this stuff, they're a bit more subtle about it, which is I do appreciate. And then you have Nintendo, who is just making fun games and just go have fun because they have fuck you money. And that's all there is to say about this. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Hit the like, subscribe. Peace out.